What's going on? Strat Soldier here for the weekend shift. What's going on? The longest running Strat show ever. And we're going to keep it that way. Every Saturday. Every ding-dang Saturday right here. All right? We got Terry Baker in the house. We got Brent. Zay, what's up, Zay? Marlon B. Beach Bum is in the house. What is going on? Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Thank you for being here. Shout out to Zay. Zay, go watch that. I put out a podcast, In Force. I do a podcast called In Force. And I talked about the Hunt for Red October. Go watch that thing. I gave you credit. I didn't want to steal your title. You know what I mean? I want to steal your title. It's definitely the Hunt for Red October. We're going to be talking about that a little bit more today. Dub Jones, Grand Rising. What's going on? Dub Jones is in the house. I want to go straight into the charts. But we got a brand new month, brand new quarter, and we do have to talk about time frame continuity. Let me write that down. Time frame week versus month. All right. Time frame continuity with the week versus the month. Bien Cruz is in the house. Good morning, everybody. The government shutdown. We got the government shutdown, and then we had Nike earnings. What else do we have going on over the week? They were like, the government shut down, so they didn't put out the jobs numbers. There's a lot of conspiracy theories out there saying that was on purpose. I'm not here for all that, so I'm not here for all that. I mean, it may be true. Maybe they did shut things down so that nobody's like, talking about how the jobs are terrible out there right now. We'll see. I don't know if that's a real thing. What else? Anything else in the news that was really significant? Anybody put it in the chat. Anything real significant in the news? I can't. It was so long. This week felt very long. Let's see if there's anything funny out there in Twitterland. Before we get into all that, go check out thestratsoldier.com. Check out my execution course. This is Cedric. He was there it is. He was in that execution course. All right. He's also been in the Strat Camp webinar, and I've done a one-on-one with him. All right. There's a lot of people out here putting out products and, buy this and do that and learn the Strat. But is it really? All right. Now, I want to be careful. Because there are some people out there. There are people out there teaching the Strat correctly, and that's fantastic. I learned the Strat from Rob Smith and worked with Rob Smith directly with him for 2 years, and that's where I started with the weekend shift. So he gave me opportunity, and he gave me that opportunity, and then after he passed, I continued it on. All right, and I will continue to teach the Strat the way Rob taught it. All right, so get in there, check out the execution course. I have time for you guys. There's a lot of people putting out stuff, or they want you to join a Discord, and they just throw you to the wolves and leave you in there. All right, and you just kind of figure it out. And here's a channel that says you can learn, and then you're digging around in this channel trying to figure it out. No, the courses it's all the information, all organized right there. Actionable signals, time frame continuity, broadening formations. All right, and if you only need help on one area of the Strat, you can only, if you just need help with time frame continuity, you can get that. If you just need help with broadening formations, you can get that. All right, kind of like an a la carte type thing, or you can do the whole thing. You can do the whole thing if you want. So check out the Strat. The Strat starter kit, that'll get you 2 ebooks, 0 to trading, and then Hammer in Force. That's 1 candle formation that to get you in on anything that trades, and you get one of these Strat Soldier coffee mugs, so you can laugh with me on Saturdays. You can laugh with me on Saturdays. If you just want the coffee mug, let me know. I'll send you the link, and super crazy discount on that. Art is in the house. Me and Art's been friends for a long time. What's up, Art? How you doing? That's enough of that. Get in there, Strat. Let's see if there's anything funny out there in Twitter land. I know there was. Let me see. Let me get my things together. Where's my, come on. All right, let's go look at some funny stuff. Let's do some funny stuff. All right, here we are in Twitter land. The Weekend Shift, what's up? Yeah, Steve Burns says, if you started trading without proper education, look at this. You're just throwing money you're throwing money away, burning it up. I tell you what, there's so many people that I talk to that they're brand new traders and they think they need to start with options immediately. And there's people out there telling people, go ahead and start with options immediately. It's okay. Yes, you're right. A $60 stock that, if 100 shares of a stock that costs 60 bucks is $6,000. You're right. That is true. All right. And they're going to tell you, well, if you buy the option on this thing, it's going to be a lot less, $60. So it's going to be, let's say, no. It'll be like, $200 option. That makes that, but they're not going to say $200 option. They're going to say $3 option, $4 option, $5 option. That's how they're going to talk. All right. They're going to say $6 option. That's how they're going to talk. All right. But they're not going to tell you that option costs $600. All right. You buy a $600 option. You don't know what you're doing. You start taking losses. A small loss, could be could be $200. A $600 option, a small loss could be 200 bucks. And you don't know what you're doing. And they're like, that's a small loss. You'll be fine. And then you take 5 consecutive losses in a row of $200 a piece. That stuff starts adding up. That stuff started adding up big time on the wrong side, the bad side. All right. So whatever, man. People learn how to trade. I tell people, if you're a brand new trader and you're just getting into this, trade common shares. People don't want to start. They don't want to be humble enough to just start with something that they know. And can really learn how to progress, learn how to create winning positions, add to them, and defend them with tight stops. They just want to go straight to get a bunch of money. All right. I saw this crazy video on YouTube. This person's like, he's sitting in a Cybertruck. Number one, he's sitting in a Cybertruck, and he's like, he had some little stupid name like Lil Stank or something like that. And the person was like, hey, Lil Stank, if someone gave you $10,000, how would you make money? And he was like, I would take 7,500 of that and then put it in the options leaps in the stocks that are already 50% down on the year. I'm looking at this thing going, are you crazy? I'm just watching it, and then he's like, you take the other 2,000, 250, and then you day trade that in options. You just wasted $10,000, kid. That's what you did. You just wasted $10,000. Oh, man. Trading common shares. There it is, Zay. There it is. You should go watch him too. He does a live show. I watched him on Wednesday. I don't know if he has a schedule. Zay, if you want to put a link in there in the chat, that's fine. I'm okay with that. And then put your schedule in there too, because I watched him. He's funny, boy. He's funny, and they know what they're doing. Yes. Yep. What's up? Zay says, that's how I started trading common shares. I was actually resistant to options at first because of the lingo. Eventually I had someone explain it to me, super simple, and I got hooked. That's awesome. That's good. And that's exactly what I tell the new traders. Take 1 year to learn how to, learn again. You got you have your account, learn how to buy and sell shares, and then you make a little money. You lose a little money, and then you make that money back. Your goal as a new trader in your first year should be to just break even. All right, that's it. Just break even. All right. That means you won some, you lost some, you made it back. You're back to even. All right. And then if you want to start, learning how to do share options or futures or commodities or what this crypto crap, whatever you guys want to do, learn it. Then you can learn it from there. All right, you can, but you got a starting point. All right, you got a starting point. You don't need to, you don't need to be just YOLOing in this stuff. People telling people crazy things. Ugh. This was my Friday. All right, got stopped out with profit. I know there's people out there like Ace. There's people out there like 8x Trades posting, $2,000-$3,000. Zay's posting, not Zay. Ace is posting stuff like $18,000 wins. People doing some amazing stuff. All right, I only posted this just to give the new traders some encouragement. All right, some encouragement. You don't, if you can't, you're learning how to do this. All right, you're learning how to drive. Yes, doing donuts in the parking lot in your Lamborghini does look fun. Yes, I want to do that too. But you need to learn how to start. All right, you need to learn how to start trading. All right, you need to learn how to get in the car, start it up, drive it around town, learn how to get back home safe. People out here, what's up? There's Beach Bum. Shout out to TiVo. He got into a Discord. He's learning some things. Shout out to Sal. He's doing some good things. Mr. F2 Rev. Shout out to them. Doing the strat, doing it right. Strat judge, you will be judged. Go follow these guys. Ryan, always around, always here. What's up? Calvin Smith, always been here as well. Let me see. You're looking for the funny stuff, and then we'll talk about what happened last week. What's going on? Anything interesting out there? It felt like a long week. It did feel like a long week. I don't know why. Just a lot of stuff going on. Newsy stuff, work stuff. Okay. Here's a good question. He says, okay, I am talking about Celsius. All right, getting back in on Celsius. I was talking to the weekend shift crew about getting back on Celsius. It was hammer in force on the week. I will show you that in the charts. And I'm like, okay, if you didn't get in here, that's fine. All right, because it will triangle you out. It will triangle they out. All right, there'll be some corrective activity, a throwback, and then you'll find a way back in. And then that's exactly what happened here on Celsius. We'll show you the charts. And Spencer, shout out to him, says might be entering on Celsius tomorrow. Fell to on the day. Bet Mr. F2 Reb's looking at this one too. Yep. And then I told him I'm looking for this monthly one. I'm looking for this monthly trigger to the highs on Celsius to get back in on that. He starts talking about the domino effect entries, and then I showed him. If you have not seen this video, go watch it. All right, go watch it. All right, Rob talked about trading combinations, not this domino effect stuff. He talked about trading combinations. How many combinations do you have? How many actionable signals do you have on the time frames? All right, and where are they at? All right. So with that, what I mean is you can take a reversal on a smaller time frame that will trigger a higher time frame. All right, but it's got to be all lined up on the charts, and then when it does trigger, that's when you add. All right, there's another group out here saying, well, you could take this 2-2 reversal back up, and once it triggers the daily, oh, that's what we wanted. It triggered the daily. Take your profits. We're done. It's that exhaustion risk, and they're calling exhaustion risk every 15 minutes. Their live streams are very like, and almost like an anxious feeling. It's an anxious feeling. It's very strenuous. All right, every 15 minutes, it's exhaustion risk. All right, we're not messing with that. All right, we're not messing with that stuff. If you're getting on a smaller time frame and it triggers the daily, that's where you want to add. If it triggers the weekly, that's where you want to add. All right, if you're not comfortable with adding, watch the charts. You will see what I'm talking about. That's what Rob talked about: trading combinations, not the domino effect stuff. I'm not trying to preach too much. All right, not trying to preach too much. Sorry. Here's an example with ARM. All right, this is a daily chart. This is a weekly chart. The daily chart, you can say, okay, 2-2 reversal back up. If this hits magnitude, on the daily, it's going to trigger the weekly. I'm going to take this. All right. If it triggers the week, if the daily triggers the week, excuse me, if the daily triggers hits magnitude, it's definitely going to trigger the week. I'm going to take this. All right, that's what that's about. That's what that's about. Any other funny stuff? I started talking way too long. I know. My timer's like, hey man, you messing the show up. My timer's like, you messing the show up, man. Let me see. Okay, last one. We'll leave it here. Last thing. Shout out to Anthony. We've been trading together for a long time. He's doing good stuff. Ignoring the losing positions by saying, I don't care if I lose this money is not trading. It's gambling. I hear that a lot too. All right. I hear that a lot too. I don't care if I lose this. I don't care if I lose this $300. It's fine. You're gambling. All right. People teaching you that kind of stuff. Gambling. All right. Managing your positions and protecting your gains. It's not loss aversion. Loss aversion is, go look it up. Loss aversion is when you are afraid to lose. You're afraid to lose, so you'll go ahead and break even or just get out because you're afraid to lose. You're afraid of the game. Let me get a better. Despite you're more scared of losing than actual making money. All right, actually making money. All right, you're afraid of losing than the actual possibility of gains. All right, that's what I'm talking about. All right. So yes, we use break-even stops. Yes, we want to protect our capital at all costs. Getting stopped out is a part of the strat, but you know, that's managing your positions. That's trading. All right, it's trading. Now, just being afraid to get in, period, that's loss aversion. All right, that's something different. All right, but yeah, I hear this all the time. You know, if I don't care if I lose this, I'm good. No, you ain't. I'm gonna leave it there. Let's get into what happened last week, and then we'll get into these actionable signals. I know why you're here. You're here for these actionable signals. Give me a second. All right, we in the tank. We are in the tank. All right, we're gonna take maybe 5, maybe 10 minutes to talk about what happened last week. I see the chat rolling. Give me a second. I see the chat rolling. Let me get this out of the way. And then I went just a little bit because there was some good content in there, and good information in there. So I wanted to give that to the new people. SPY, most things doing the same thing. All right, most things doing the same thing. So I'm not going to talk too much about the broader averages. Everything going right back to the highs. And in Zay's show, he was talking about, we're looking for this red October, looking for things going to the lows. I was talking to JJ, and that's in the podcast In Force, and he was saying we got 2 up on the month. Excuse me, 2 up on the month right here. This is 2 up on the week, but 2 up on the month on SPY. This can go scenario 3. All right. This could fail all the way back down and go scenario 3. It's a possibility. We have to talk about that. It's a possibility. It could happen. All right. We don't want, a lot of people out there don't want it to happen, but it could. We need to talk about that. We have we got earnings coming up. We want, these companies, maybe they didn't do so hot. They could go to the lows. All right. Dow Jones all-time highs. QQQ. Same. All right. Same. RSP, S&P 500 equal weighted. This gives all the same weight to the big guys and the little guys. And we got a shooter on the day for Monday, but 2 reversal back up on the week and 2 up on the month. So everything starts October 2 up on the month. 2 up on the month. Small cappers, all-time high. Oh, wait a minute. No, not yet. Not all-time highs yet, but still just trucking to the highs. All right. VXX volatility showing it's going back down. All right, always. Let's see. Let's go to the dashboard, multi-view. Let's go to multi-view. I always call it the dashboard. This is TrendSpider. If you want to get a deal on TrendSpider, there's a link in the description. That'll get you 25% off on TrendSpider. And then once you get that, let me know, and I'll send you my scans. My Strat Soldier Easy Setup Scanner, Hammer Time Scanner, and then 2 up on the week with VWAP Scanner. All right. and I'll show you how to use all those things. And then even if you want an Apple trading bot, I can send you that too. So here's the weeks, everything up. All right, and then here's XLK Tech. No actionable signal on the week for next week, but trending to the highs. XLU Utilities, trending to the highs. No actionable signal for next week. XLE, ooh, I told you. Me and Zay were talking about this on Wednesday too. XLE has been just nasty. It's been nasty, and it's been nasty for a long time. He was like, well, look at I think he was looking at the monthly charts, but you know, you can also look at here, we're on the week. It's pretty much the same action as well. And look at this. This is 2022. All right, this is 2021 when we had the 212 reversal back up on the year. You know, we talked about that. Me and Rob, we were the only ones in that thing, man. You know, you guys got on it too, but I'm saying we were the only ones talking about that. But anyway, since then, since 2022 July timeframe, going into 2023, most of this trading sideways. This is a hot mess. Hot mess. Honestly, drawing the broadening formation, I need to go from here back to here. It's all stuck in there. We'll do that on the other chart, but on the other version of this chart. But from here to here, looking at the broadening formation, all right, you can kind of visually see that all these weeks just trading sideways. Hot mess. So anyway, going back into this mother bar problem right here. Let me see. Do I got my sounds on today? Let me see.
That's a mother bar issue.
That's a mother bar issue. All right. All right. Here's the mama. Here's the mama bar, and then here's all the little babies just all stuck in there, just following mom. just stuck in there. So not pretty at all. It is inside week for next week, but XLE, wow. I mean, seasonality out the window on this. Usually around summertime, it's been going to the highs. Not lately, not lately. Anyway, Labu Biotech's continuing to the highs. It's been slow moving, but continuing to the highs. No actionable signal for next week. XLV Healthcare. Wow, 2-2 reversal back up on the week. Looks like 137 back to the highs. We'll check out the actual prices on another chart. But JJ was saying, you gotta watch this. You gotta wait. You gotta. Oh man, what did he say? You gotta embrace the consolidation. Embrace the consolidation. Look at this. You don't have to trade this, but watch it. All right, all this just trading sideways. But anyway, trading in a range, and then 2-2 reversal back up on the week. Finally doing something, trying to get back up here. Healthcare, come on now. XRT retail trending to the highs. All right, and we do have. That is wait a minute, is that nope, that's 2 down on the week. So no actionable signal for next week, because that's more like a doji. That's not a hammer, that's more like a doji type thing. So retail, we got October, November, December. Now's the time people start buying Christmas stuff early. You got those crazy people down the street that have all the Halloween stuff up. They're crazy. We know they're crazy. All right. They got all the Halloween stuff up, and then we got all the, people got to buy all this stuff for Thanksgiving. So it is crazy. It could be crazy. Retail, we're going to be watching retail. All right. Black Friday, all that stuff. Shaking my head, semiconductors. I call it shaking my head because sometimes it just don't make sense. Continuing to the highs. All right. Buy some ding dang shares. All right, buy some shares. It doesn't have to be options all the dang time. It doesn't. All right, that's just, I got to talk to the average people. All right, I got to talk to the regular people sometimes too. XLP, consumer staples, inside on the week, look like it wants to keep going to lows. All right, really looks like it wants to just keep dropping. Drop it like it's hot. Get it out of here. Yuck. Ugh, man. Well, no, that ain't the one. That's the one right there. That's the one. Ugh. All right, it's 11:30. It's 11:30. Let's get into these actionable signals. So we're looking for stuff in XLE. We're looking for XLE and XLP. Why? Because they have actionable signals on the week. All right. You will watch other shows and they will say, well, we're looking at this and we're looking at that and we're going to look at the 3-day and the 4-day and the 17th day. That's fine. The strat works on any time frame. You want to look for 17-day rev strats? That's fine. I'm not going to stop you. All right. But I'm just saying those are the only two sectors that have actionable signals. Let's go. Let's look for these actionable signals. Let's do it. All right. All right, let's go through what worked and then what worked, what didn't work. Let's clear this up and then we'll go into what we got. Let me see this chat. Sorry about that. Chat is rolling. Zay's got his thing in there. Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 7:15. That's really specific. 7:15 Eastern Standard Time. You know what that means? That means he said we're going to start this show at 7, and then nobody was really getting on the stream till 7:15. He was like, just make it 7:15. That's what that is. I know what that is. I've been doing this. I know what that means. I've been there. Start the show at we're going to start the show here. Nah, man, there really ain't anybody getting in here for half an hour. We'll adjust. I'm just joking here. That generation. Oh yeah. Degenerate generation. YOLO, baby. I'm telling you what. He said 7,500 in option leaps on stocks that are 50% down. Ridiculous. All right, that kind of stuff only works in a bear market. All right, and most people are only taught to look at daily charts. They're only taught to look at daily charts. They're not looking at yearly charts, quarterly charts. You guys get me going. Combos. People forget about that. Yep, so important, so strong. And then Art says I get in on the 5 because of the 15, creating the 30-minute trigger. Yep, trigger on the 60. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And then another situation where it's 2 up on the week, 2 up on the day, all right? And for example, it's hammer and force on the 60. You can drop down on the 5-minute and take a reversal in that thing, and you don't have to go, well, I missed it. No, get in there. And Marlon B says, give me Amazon, give me Domino's, pizza. I wanted to go down this. We'll do Amazon and pizza. All right, Amazon, give me Amazon. Was Amazon on the list this week? I don't think so. Amazon, sorry. Amazon, is that, wow, inside on the week, but barely. And then we got a shooter on the month. All right, that shooter on the month goes in force below 216.87. The magnitude is 211. Interesting. All right, Amazon had a lawsuit and it got settled. All right, they got to pay back like $4 billion or something like that. But this is the funny part. If you calculate it out, and someone did, every customer, Prime customer, gets $51. Everybody. So Amazon's right now going. They're hot, boy. They're mad, but they're at their desk going 51. Zay Alexander or whatever your name is. $51.79. Beach bum. $51.79. Personal checks, just writing them out. Angry. So anyway, we're looking at, we do have an inside inside week for next week. Let's make it yellow. Inside week, that could trigger inside week at 216. All right, and then looking at the month, that could definitely trigger the month. All right, same line, same. All right, that's what I'm talking about. All right, so you can take this because it'll trigger the month. You can do that. But we also need to recognize that it's all stuck in this level of reclaim right here, but all these bars just sitting in this range. All right, and if it breaks down, and it keeps going, awesome. That's going to, that's going to show that the sellers are definitely in control on the month. But you just got to keep watching it. We got to keep watching it. Let's put that on the weekly watch list for this week. Remind me not to erase that one. All right, and I got to talk about time frame continuity. And then Domino's Pizza, DPZ. Everybody says, what are we doing? Are we buying pizza? No, we are not buying pizza right now. No pizza. Beginning of the year, people were buying pizza. That's 2023, 2024. All right, they were buying pizza. Beginning of the year, they're a little bit of pizza, but honestly, going to the downside. All right, not doing so hot. Looking at the broadening formation on the month on DPZ, Domino's, all this. Look at that. Come on now, you can see that. All right, this is what this broadening formation show us. All right, Zay, I don't know if I explained this last time, but we want to trade reversals within this broadening formation. All right, because in the Strat, we definitely believe that a price discovery happens in a series of broadening formations. All right, if trading was rectangular, it would be easy to go, okay, Domino's Pizza is going to 560 or 565. Here we go, and everybody just buy until he gets to 565, trades over. Domino's Pizza does not trade ever again because he hit the target. That's what it's valued at and doesn't do anything else. But that's not how price works. All right. When people look at support and supply and demand only, support and resist only, they're looking at sideways, and it doesn't account for time. All right. Looking at things vertically, it accounts for time. All right. So anyway, they're gonna see how far they can take them down. They're going to see how far they can take them up. They're going to see how far they take them down. All right. How much does this cost? They're like, oh, 411. No, it doesn't. Oh, okay. Sorry. Does it go? How far can we get this down? We're going to test the lows. All right. Buyers say, no. We're taking this over. All right. We're taking this over. So we want to trade reversals back in this. All right, there's a nice shooter reinforce all the way back down. They really hated Domino's then. Golly, July 2024. Wow, they hated Domino's back then. But anyway, all right, let me get this. I think something's wrong with my. I want you guys to see that time there. There you go. August 20. Oh no, July 2024. They hated Domino's right then. That must have been earnings. They hated them right then. Goodness. Anyway, now they're still trying to get their act together. Looks like it wants to keep going to the downside. Domino's full time frame continuity to the downside. Red on the month, red on the week, red on the day, red on the 60s, and it is inside on the week. Honestly, we're looking for some more downside on this below 423.38. All right, to the lows. Whew, Domino's. So in the middle of the broadening formation zone, so are you leaning on the low end right now? Yes, low end right now, yes, because the trend is down on the month. It's red on the month already. We're looking for a 3-2 down. We have an actionable signal that says, okay, the sellers could reconfirm on the week that they want to sell that. All right, yep. Justin Davis in the house. Yep, got to get out of that. But looks like they want to keep selling that. All right, now if it was green, we'd be like, we want to find something that goes to the upside. It's really hard for these institutions to hide what they're doing. I know people talk about dark pool. People talk about institutions, they're buying it on the, really cheap or at the bid, and they're selling at a different range to hide the volume as they're getting into positions. People do tricky, institutions do tricky things to get into, positions. They do, but all you got to do is go to the monthly chart to see what they're actually doing. And right now they're actually selling Domino's. All right, they're like, get my money out of this thing. Let's go look at insider traders. All right, look at this. Sell. Jessica Parrish is destroying. They're like, no, she got awarded. Andy, right here. Andy sold 413 stocks. All right, Andy sold all that. Give me my money out of this. James was like, get my money out of this. James up here hit him again. James said, hit him again. Get my money out of this now. Now, you know, that was back in August, though. Okay, all right. Get my money out of this thing. I want it. That's DPC. Let's go back to the weekly signals. Let's go through this really quick. John Deere, that was a win to the lows. Now we have a hammer on the week, so we'll leave this on the watch list. Let's see if this thing reverses back up above 468.59. The magnitude is 478.18. All right, we'll leave that one on the chart. McDonald's doing nothing. It did go to lows, but it didn't hit the magnitude. You know, it didn't hit our target, so I'm not calling it a win for the show. All right, clean it up. MO did trigger 3-2 up, didn't hit target. All right, and then I'm not really calling out a shooter. That's more like a doji thing. Get it off the list. Get it off. Amazon, we did talk about Amazon. All right, no, we added Amazon. Okay, sorry. We talked about that already. Microsoft did trigger, but not doing too much. Microsoft kind of moves slow. I was talking about on my coaching session, I'll give you one thing we're talking about in the coaching session. How previous broadening, so I said broadening formations, with broadening formations, price discovery happens in a series of broadening formations, okay? And here's proof of that on Microsoft. Here's a broadening formation, all right? It completes, it's done. Next broadening formation starts, and the previous broadening formation becomes support for the new one, okay? All right, very interesting. I really don't draw these too much because once the new one starts, I'm like, all right, next one. I ain't worried about that. Next one. But that's a good little demo right there. All right, price discovery works in a series of broadening formations. Test the highs, test the lows. Test the highs, test the lows. Test the highs, test the lows. Test the highs, you know. So that's a good one. Microsoft can move it can move slow, okay? You know, they're waiting on everybody to get Windows 11. All right, but it is 2 up on the month. Let's see if we can get back up to 540. Make sure you put that on your 2 up on the month list. Oh, you guys, a macro vid, 2 up on the month list. Travelers was a win, 212 up on the week. Win. All right, very good. Let's put that 2 up on the month list. All right, it's already there. All right, no actionable signal for next week. We're looking for hammers, shooters, inside bars. Verizon, man, someone's looking at the Verizon bill right now. Mad, all right, mad. But you could buy, you know, if it's working for you, you could start a winning position in, you could at least, you know that you're making money on the stock. Right now, not doing a whole bunch, not a win. It did trigger, but it didn't hit our target. Take it off the list. Celsius, I talked a lot about Celsius, Mr. F2 Rev and others. It did go hammer and force on the week. That was awesome. It took out 2 targets. It didn't get to 62. I'm going to wait for this $62.63 on the month. That's what I'm waiting for, all right? So I'm going to put that on the monthly signals list. I'm pretty sure it's already on there. Maybe not. Monthly signals, all right? Monthly signals. But it did go 2-2 reversal back up on the week. That was awesome. That was awesome. And if you didn't get in on that, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Remember I was talking about the to Spencer. Here's that failed 2. All right, 2-2 reversal back up. That's when you get in October 2nd. All right, and it did go for the first hour. It went really well for the first hour on Friday, and then just kind of sold off. All right, that happens. But that's how you would have got in on that. That's how you could have got in on that. No actionable signal for next week. Take it off the list. Cisco shooter. It did go 212 up. It did hit target. All right, that was a win. But now it's shooter on the week for next week. All right, shooter on the week for next week right here below $76.44. It's all stuck in here. Ugh.
That's a Mulder bar issue.
All right, but it could go. All right, it could go all the way back down. Not looking. It did trigger 312 up on the month, but came back in. So we're going to watch this. We'll leave it on the list, but we're going to watch it. Walmart, Wally World didn't do much. All right, didn't do much. It's just a mess. All right. Now it's hammer on the week at 103.80. All right, the magnitude is still 105 or 106.05. All right, we'll leave it. ASTS, this is not a win for us. Now, if you took the 3-2 up on the month, that's good. But we were looking for this to go to the downside below $45.22. That did not happen. It went straight to the highs. What is this? This is a good example of why we don't get in early. This is why we don't get in early. All right. Oh, I see a shooter on the week. I'm going to go ahead and get these puts. They're cheap. I'm going to get these puts. They cheap. Okay. Losing money all week. All right. So I talk about this in the execution course. We don't get in early. If it doesn't trigger below the shooter, don't touch it. Same thing with the hammer. If it does not trigger above the hammer, don't touch it. All right. And of course, inside bars. All right. Same. But if you're like, you know what, it didn't go to the downside, and you look for an actionable signal to get in on that on the daily or the 60s, you could do that. All right. Very good. Very good. But that's a good example of why we don't get in early. SMCI. Also looking for the shooter, and it did not go in force, went straight back up. PayPal did go 212 up on the week, took out some targets, came back in a little bit. No actionable signal for next week, but that was a winner. That was a winner. Palantir, it just scenario 3 outside week. It's a mess. It's a mess. And honestly, I wouldn't call that a shooter either. It was an ugly shooter. Let's see if they go below 170.35. The magnitude is 160, 161. Let's see if they want to get all the way down in there. Palantir, and that's just profit taking. All right, don't freak out. And everybody's like, well, it ain't going to the lows. They got these contracts, dog. I know. All right, I know. But it is also, people want to take their profits. We know they're going to do that. All right. So this is it's basically parabolic. All right. I tried to draw something on there. But it's definitely coming off the highs. We'll see. It's just profit taking. We'll leave it on the chart. We'll leave it on the watch list. Hood, back to the highs. Looking for that shooter to go in force. It did not. It went straight back up. That's A-OK. These 212 up. Took out some targets. That was good. The actionable signal for next week. CRSR 212 down. It went in force below $8.36 and ended the week at $8.03. I know that's not a whole bunch of money for an options trader that's experienced, but for someone that's new, that was a good win for you. Okay, for someone that's new in the options, that's a good win. No actionable signal for next week. It is definitely, the sellers are in control of that one. Cat Tractor, we're looking for the shooter to go in force. It did not. It went straight back up. Again, that's why we don't get in early. Dow, 212 up, didn't do much. All right, you could still be in that, but it didn't do a lot. Boo. Pfizer, the government said, give me Pfizer. We want to make a deal with Pfizer. All right. And Pfizer was like, okay, you got the Pfizer's sitting there like, you guys hated us, earlier 2 years ago, you guys hated Pfizer. You guys were like, oh, Fauci and Pfizer, you guys hated me. You hated Pfizer. Now all of a sudden they want to make a deal. All right. Anyway, blast into the highs. The government took a 10% position, and this is not an actionable signal on the week, but this was a way back into that. All right, why would you want to get into that? And that worked. That was on a daily watch list with the weekend shift crew, because it could get back up there. Right, it used to be somebody. All right, off the bottom of the broadening formation. Can we get back up to $54? Can we get back up to $61? Maybe. All right, and while I'm laughing at people that got in at $51, well, you dumb, you got in at $51, haha. You're like, Strat Soldier, I don't care. I got in here down here at $27. I don't care. That's the kind of situation I want you to be in. All right, that's the situation I want you to be in. So anyway, Pfizer, again, that's a way into something a lot bigger. All right, no actionable signal for next week. Take it off the chart. CVS. All right, since Walgreens got delisted, CVS has been going back to the highs. We do have a shooter for next week, but no actionable signal on the week. It is 2 up on the month. Let me get that on the 2 up on the month list. It's already there. All right, CVS. AIG, that was a good one. 2-1-2 up and took out some of these guys. Wanted to see if it get back up to $81, but it did good. All right, it did great. We definitely have to recognize what's happening here on the month. Let's see if it goes 2 up on the month above $82.11. We'll put that on the monthly signals list. All right, no actionable signal for next week. And then Bristol Myers, that was a win. All right, 2-2 reversal back up. That was awesome. That was awesome. Look at the daily chart though, okay? You had to take your profits in there somewhere. That's not a shooter. Probably going to open up inside week next week. But it's definitely pointing to the lows. DHR, 2-2 reversal back up on the week. That's what I'm talking about. Look at that. Beautiful. That's the kind of stuff you want to be in. All right? Bingo. That's the kind of stuff you want to be in. Amazing. It just triggers and just keeps going for the rest of the week. Just keeps going. No actionable signal for next week. Take it off the list. And we're back to dominoes. All right. So here's our week so far. We're starting with something. Anything, put whatever you want to look at in the chat. Put the tickers in the chat. Put the tickers in the chat. And if you got questions about the Strat, now's the time. Now's the time to put your questions in about the Strat. What's the insiders doing, and where's the smart money? Yep. That was dominoes. They're like, take my money out of this thing. Let's go to XLE. Let's look for actionable signals in XLE. We're looking for a reminder. XLE. We're looking for anything that's inside on the week. Here's the broadening formation on XLE on the month. XLE on the month. All this is stuck back here in this scenario 3 back here. It's all stuck in that range. All right. Wow. Going to that yearly chart, I talked about the 2-1-2 up right here that went in force in 2022. All right. 2 down, inside bar, 2 up. All right. 2-1-2 up above $59.71. All right, that was a simultaneous break on the year. They were buying everything in energies on the year, and then since then it's not been doing much. All right, but this was great back in 2022. Everything else was going to the lows, not energies back to the highs. All right, but since then not doing a whole bunch. So we can see that here. All right, hot mess. Let's see. All right, so we're looking for anything inside week on energies. And if you don't trade energies, that's fine. I get it. APA inside week. BKR inside week. All right. COP inside week. I don't know why that's on there. We get that off the chart. COP, looking for, honestly, it could go up to, it could get, inside bars can go either way, either the highs or the lows, all right? I might be putting up, all right, Chevron 2 down on the week, all right? Not skipping that one. Devon, inside on the week. Yes, I can use a scanner and scan through all these real quick and put it on the watch list, but you will see a lot. You'll see these patterns and you'll see these broadening formations and see what's going on with the price action if you just go through the charts. I do use scanners. I'm not against scanning. Hammer, Fang, hammer inside. I'm just saying you'll see this stuff. Scanner won't necessarily pick up things like this. All right. FTI, nope, skipping it. Good morning, Vince. How you doing? You made it to a live show. Good morning. Halliburton, inside on the week. We're looking for things that are inside on the week on energy. So it's a lot. It's a lot. If it's not inside week, we're skipping it. All right. MPC Marathon's been doing great. Marathon's 2 up on the month and doing great. All right, that's the kind of no, inside on the month, but it's been trending up. Right? It's been trending up. NOV. Nope, skip it. It is a Momo hammer on the. If you want to put that on your list, that's fine. But for this demonstration, I'm looking for inside on the week. Okay, okie dokie is inside on the week. Oxy. Nope. See how easy that is? All right, see how easy that is? Slob. Inside on the week. Slob. I like to sing songs when I'm not singing that one. VLO. Only a few people got that joke. XOM. All right. Not doing much. All right. So far, that's XLE. Let's go to consumer staples. Consumer staple. Do I have consumer staples out here? I don't think I do. I don't think I have a consumer staples watch list. What am I doing? But in TrendSpider, you can just type in consumer staples. Consumer staples. There's 162. That's what I like about the TrendSpider. Search bars. Scanners. Searches. It's like you don't know the sector. Just type it in there. Consumer staples. Consumer staples. I need to make a watch list for this, but I'll do it later. You got a lot of good stuff in here. You got a lot of junk in here, okay? I understand that. Bien Cruz, thank you so much, Bien Cruz, with the super chat. Thank you so much. And the rule with the super chat is, if you use one of them super chats, I stop what I'm doing, talk about what you want to talk about. What do you want to talk about, Bien? Zay said 36 Mafia. I knew you were going to get that one. I knew you were going to get that, Zay. I'm glad. Woo! That's funny. Yeah, I couldn't keep going on that one. This is a family show. Bien Cruz, what do you want to talk about, Bien? I'll talk about what you want to talk about. Ask me a question. Send me some chart or tickers. What do you want to look at? All right, so this is consumer staples. We're looking for stuff that are inside on the week, I believe. What was it? No, it was, hold on. Let's do this. Let's make a watch list right before your eyes. Clone new watch list. We'll call this one consumer staples. XLP TrendSpider. That's how easy this is. All right, she got me some in there. All right, XLP consumer staples. I don't have shoot, I need a number on this one. I can't remember what. No, let's do 5. All right, I'll probably have to change that. Create, bam. That's how easy that is in TrendSpider, okay? XLP. Let me do this. Let's see here. 5 energies, 6 retail, 90. Stop. Let's go 93. No. 9. No, not 93. 9. 8. XY. 8Y. Let's go 8Y. I'm just doing that to keep it in the list so it doesn't drop all the way down. XLP 5. Let's change this to edit 8. 8Y. You're wondering, I'm sure you guys are like, why did he name it 8Y? Because it's just to keep it in the alphabetical order and in the thing, all right? All right. So yeah, just like that. That's what I want. All right. And then consumer staples. All right, I'll change it. Anyway, all right, I stop what I'm talking about. Talk about what you want to talk about. Bien wants to look at COPX. What the heck is this? Global X copper to the highs. All metals going to the highs. Zay was talking about this. All right, silver and gold to the highs. Copper to the highs. Man, hey, Greg down the street, crazy Greg, he got arrested 2 years ago for stripping out all that copper out of the air conditioners at the school. He got arrested for doing that. Hey, copper to the highs. Crazy Greg was on to something right there, boy. He was on to something. Copper to the highs. Them's jokes. Anyway, to the highs. Anything copper. Anyway, all-time highs on copper. No actionable signal for next week, but it's doing great. All right, yes, they got that. Crazy Greg got arrested for stripping out the copper in the air conditioners at the elementary school. What are you doing, man? The kids in there sweating. Anyway, global copper, everything to the highs. No actionable signal on this. If you want to get in on this, for example, this Momo hammer that went in force on Friday, that's how you would get in. All right. Honestly, I would look for something that does this on the daily and then get in here on the 60 minutes. All right. Right here on the 60s, $60 a go, and it goes up a little bit. All right, but that's, you know, it's at all-time highs, and I know Bien, I know you know how to make money on something like that. All right, let's see here, CIFR Cipher again, not all-time highs. All right, it's getting there. It's close. It's there. All right, all-time highs. All right, but again, all right. Going up. No actionable signal for next week. You do have a shooter on the day. All right, let's see if they want to take some profits. Maybe they'll take some profits on this. No actionable signal for next week. IREN. Iron. You know iron. Again. All right, 2 up on the month. Everything all-time highs. All right. Yes, all-time highs. Iron. Green, full time frame continuity to the upside again. This is a way to, you see something like this, you're going to go down to a smaller time frame and then work that. All right, that's awesome. Things are good. Whatever the things you're looking at, Bien, it's looking good. You ain't looking for some down. She's not eating out of the trash. She is not eating out of the trash. Silver. All right. All-time highs. All right, hit that like button. Thank you, Bien. Thank you. All these metals, all these things to the highs. Very good. Which is interesting, it's like, well, maybe does everything cost so much, XLP, that's what I was looking at. What actionable signal are we looking for on XLP? Let's add the, anybody else, any tickers or questions you want to put in the chat, put it in the chat. XLP inside on the week, looking for some more downside. All right, there's 162 stocks in here, so I'm really not going to go do all of these. We do have a hammer on ADM. Do they want to take this above $61.31? I see an actionable signal, but we're really looking for downside stuff. All right, thank you, timer. Thank you. AFR bull says bull. Give me bull. BULL. Bull looks like it wants to go. We want to see that. I'd rather see a shooter, but it looks like it wants to go. Oh gosh, what are you doing? What are you doing with this one? It looks like it wants to go back to the lows. Possible 2-2 reversal back down below $14.06. Oh my gosh, look at this one. Look at this. Jeez, what were they doing in April 2025? I don't know, but it was working. From it opened up at, oh geez, $12, went all the way up to $79. What the heck was going on there? Please tell me it didn't gap up. Please tell me that was just a, oh wow, it was a slight gap. All right, just a little bit of gap. Golly, blast off from $28 to $80 in one day on the 14th, and that's as long as it lasted. IPO. Okay, IPO. That was, golly. They were like, the bull's gonna go, it's gonna be amazing. Okay. And then, but the sad part is somebody bought this thing at $79.75. They did, and they got stopped out. And now they're doing that thing they did with Palantir, like it's gonna come back. It's gonna come back. When? Man, wow, that's sad. That is some sadness. Jeez. Oh, that's that guy. Yeah, that's the guy who's saying, yeah, all you need to do is put, 7,500 in option leaps. Put 7,500 in option leaps and you got this. Oh, dangerous. Yuck. Man, Marlon be messing with me. Let me see. eBay. Speaking of eBay, they're doing like garage sales around my neighborhood. Let's go look for some stuff. eBay back in the day was a win. Evidently, I was looking at that. Hammer on eBay. All right. And it could trigger scenario 3 on the month at $94.75. eBay. All right, very good. Now that's the kind of stuff I want to look at. Very good. That's a good actionable signal. There you go. On the week. Very good. All right, let's see if they can get that thing above $92.26. All right. And eBay's been going crazy. eBay. All right. Everybody's reselling everything. Let's see if we can get all the way back to 101. All right. Can we get back to 101? $92, 101. That's good. MSTR. 2-2 reversal back up. It already went for this week. All right, that was last week. All right, but if you started a winning position, that's good. And then looking at the month, oh yes. All right, let's see if this thing re-triggers above. Let's see if this thing re-triggers above 358.25. All right, 358.25. We could start a win. We can start a position in here, and then we could possibly get up to 412. All right, 412. Calculator time. It's calculator time. Calculator times usually I usually do these for small, just give you guys some perspective, and then for small account people. All right, small account people think they can't buy stuff that's $300 stock. I can't buy it. It's $300 stock. I can't do that. All right. Take away 3. Let's do that again. Let me say it out loud. 412. Take away 358. Whole numbers just to make it easy for all of. Oh, geez, that didn't work at all. My bad. I don't know what happened. All right, take away 358. Oh my gosh, $54. All right, you buy one share of this, and it goes to target. That's $54. All right. All right, $54. You can do this, small account trader. You can do this. You don't need to always be buying options on everything, all right? Buy one share. Go watch my video about UNH. We're still watching UNH, all right? It's still moving, all right? You just buy one share. Buy 2 shares. You can do math. Buy 2 shares. Buy 3. That's fine. That's fine. But we're going to start with a small position. If you can buy 5, if you could buy 10, buy 5. If you could buy 5, buy 2. All right, start small, and as it keeps going, you're going to add to your winning positions. That's what you're going to do. All right, we don't hold losers, and you can make money with common shares. All right, there you go. All right, that was our PSA, and I am Strat Soldier, and I approve this message. All right, you can do this. You could do this. Let's put this on the monthly signals list. All right, you could do this. All right, so for next week, if you got in last week, good. All right, but you didn't miss it. You did not miss it. It can keep going, and of course we want to get to 464. All right, of course we want to get back up to 533. You could do this, man. Not necessarily you, Zay. I mean, you can, Zay. I'm saying for the small account trader, you could do this. You could do this. Tesla. I made some good money on Tesla. Tesla. What I did with Tesla, I got in. I've been talking about this trade for a while. Tesla. I got in around 294.86, never got stopped out on the month, and just holding it, all right? And just doing it with common shares, all right? Tesla options are like $2,300 a contract, all right? Very, very volatile, very expensive, all right? I'm not messing with options on Tesla, not anymore, no more, all right? Not doing that crap. So it never got stopped out. It is ugly, all right, but never got stopped out. And once it started taking off right here in September, when it started blasting off, when Elon Musk started buying his own stock and bought $1 billion with a B, $1 billion, I like, okay, now we need to start watching this. All right, now we need to start managing it. And it's interesting that he bought $1 billion of his stock, and I tried to make sure to tell everybody, hey, this is him buying his own stock. Be careful. I did say that, but then I'm sure he had the data, and he did it. That's good. That's good. That's good. He had the data to show that third quarterly sales was going to be amazing, and it was. It got all the way up to 471, and then they sold it all down. They sold it off, and it went from 471 all the way down to 436. All right, that's almost a $40 drop. That's almost a $40 drop in one day. Any other stock does that. That's it. That's breaking news, like on all like stocks news things, MSNBC, all that stuff. That's going to be headline news. This stock just dropped $40. Bloomberg, everybody talking about that. But with Tesla, shoot, that's a regular day in Tesla. That's a regular day in Tesla. $40 up, $40 down, and don't blink an eye either. They're just like, yep, that's Tesla. That's how it moves, man. $10 up, $10 down, same day. And not even blinking an eye. Any other stock go down $40 in one day? It's way down in here. Like the way the charts look, it's a huge drop. Nope, not Tesla. Tesla now shooter on the week. And then to finish what I was talking about, once it started moving back up, I knew they were going to start taking profits. All right, so then I managed my trade with the PSAR on the daily. All right, on the daily chart. All right, and I pushed my stops up here, up these dots. All right, if you're going to use this PSAR, you're going to wait till the dots go above your entry, and you're going to put your stops on these dots. All right, if you don't want to push them up manually all the time, you can just wait. All right, because this measures the rate of change. All right, buying and selling, and once that rate of change starts slowing down, all right, it'll get closer and closer and closer to the price. And I got stopped out right here at 433. All right, would have been nice to get stopped out right here at 470. Yes, I could have took it immediately right there at 470. Would have been amazing. All right, but that's not my trading plan. I want to see this keep going. It did not. I get stopped out with profit. All right, I get stopped out with profit. I'm not showing that to show off. I'm showing that so that other people, new traders, and other people can go, okay, I'm making this too hard. Okay. All right. My timer says let you guys go. The timer's saying, all right, you've been talking too much. But I talk about this in the execution course. Go check out that execution course. I talk about 3 ways to manage these open positions, because creating a winning position is easy. Well, no. Hold on. Let me rephrase that. Creating a winning position. Once you start trading and you understand a little bit more what's going on, creating a winning position, is not so difficult. Once it's open, you have to manage it. Okay, you have to manage it. So I talk about that in the execution course, managing open positions. So anyway, that's how I did that. Got stopped out on that. It was good. And if it keeps going, I'll find a way to back in that. All right, I'll find a way back in that. But it was good. Shooter on the week right now on Tesla. Be careful with these options. But if you're going to do it with options, go ahead, man. If you know what you're doing. Oops. Shooter on the week right now, Tesla. That goes in force below 416. All right. The next target is 399, and the target after that one is 342. Now, I know there's other people that are out there going, there's no way it's going to do that. No way. You guys follow that guy on Instagram? No way. You got to be kidding me. I can't say all the other stuff he says. No way. Anyway, people are like, there's no way it's going to do this. It can't do this. Let's put this on the weekly chart before I talk too much. It can't do that. There's no way it's going to do that. Really? Okay, because look at this monthly chart right here on Tesla. All right. The same thing happened to me back here. I got in back here. Got in a couple shares. All right, 232. It was amazing. All right. I'm up $700 on this. All right. And other people making more money on it. But I mean, it was amazing. All right. We got the election. You know, he's getting, you know, the president loves Tesla. He's talking about buying a Tesla. You know, all that stuff. January opens up. You're like, okay, inside month. I can, you know, it's the beginning of the year. February. Till the lows. Gave it, and then March gave it all back up. I was like, daggone, man. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Oh, I see you, Marley B. Give me a second. All the way back down to the lows. All right. All the way back down. Now, I took some profits up here, but at the same time, it would have been a lot better to get this up at 488 than 374, right? Right. Goodness gracious. So anyway, I wasn't going to let that happen to me again. This could go all the way back down to where it was, all right? This could go all the way back down to 296 is what I'm trying to say. It could happen. Thank you. Yeah, Brent just subscribed to Jay. That's good. That's good. Zay. He just subscribed to Zay. Good. Good. He doesn't necessarily trade the Strat, but the stuff that they're talking over there makes sense, and they're doing it. They're doing some good stuff. All right. Google. We'll let Google and APTV be the last two, and then we got to get out of here because I talked too much. Goog. All right. Inside on the okay Google we do have we call this a momentum hammer, Momo hammer. Let's see if that thing goes above 251.15, and the next target's 256. No, wait a minute, 255. All right, then it's back at all-time highs, so you can do that. That's more like a little bit of JJ. I know JJ's watching me. He's gonna be like, that's a doji thing. So we're gonna be careful there. All right. But if that does go 2 up, it's gonna go above 251.15. All right. PSCR. Marlon B says, but PSCR is an indicator. I did used to call myself the indicator hater. Oh yeah, I loved it. The indicator hater. Yeah, Rob used to teach that PSAR though. He did. Parabolic stop and reverse. Too many. Zay says too many platforms many platforms offer fractional shares now. No excuses. Okay, very good. That's good. Fractional shares. That's good. That's a good point. That's a very good point. APTV. What is this? What does APTV do? What do these guys do? They make little TVs. That's what they do. APTV, they make little TVs that you carry around in your pocket. It's not your phone, it's a little TV. I'm joking. I don't know what these guys do, but it is 2 up on it. Oh, hold on a second. I can't really see. It is 2 up on the month. All right, 2 up on the month. Now, yep, and I got it on the list already, 2 up on the month, so I was tracking this somewhere. I don't know what they do, but if you would have got in back here back in August, all right, on the weekly chart, you'd be doing great. You're doing great right now. No actionable signal for next week. What's it doing on the quarter? I need to do a macro vid. I'll be doing that for the Strat Warriors. Back here was a nice reversal back up, and it's continuing, all right? APTV. What's it doing on the year? All right, this could be something that's lining up big time for next year, okay? Next year could be really good for this, whatever this is. Put it in the chat. Hammer-like, it's hammer-like, all right. It's hammer-like, all right. Hammer-ish, all right. This would have been a good entry last week, or above $86 because you'd be in. It's Rob's Course PSAR. Yeah, it is Rob's Course PSAR. It is. They design and develop manufacturer software and hardware solutions. Okay. All right. Here's my only computer joke that I got. I only got one computer joke. All right. I know. This stupid computer joke. How many computer programmers does it take to change a light bulb? Are you kidding me? That's a hardware issue. Oh, the nerds love that joke. The nerds love that joke. They love that joke. You can take that to the water cooler at work. We were looking at consumer staples, and we never got down to consumer staples. Colgate going through some issues. Full time frame continuity, downside. Costco looking for these inside weeks here. Donut, what's Donut doing? Nope, back to the highs. Donut. Fizz, what's Fizz doing? We're looking for these inside bars. Oops. All right. General Mills, cereal. Nobody's been wanting cereal for a long time. General Mills, but it does have an inside week. All right. Hershey's, what's candy bars doing? All right. No actionable signal on that. What's this? Kellogg's. No, that's not Kellogg's. This is Calavana, whatever that is. I don't know what that is. KHC, cheese ketchup. Nope. What's this one? KO, Coca-Cola. Nope. No actionable signal. Mondelez, hammer on the week. I want to see an inside bar, but it's not. It might. Let's see if this goes above $63.64. Weekly signals. MGN, messy MO. We talked about MO already. PG, Procter Gamble. Inside on the week, and we're going to wrap this show up. Thank you so much for everybody being in here. We're going to wrap this up. Post. That's more cereal. Nope. Sony. That's weird. That's in this one. Hammer on the week. I'm looking for inside weeks. That's what I really want. TGT, Target. Nothing. What is this? Yep. All right. Not seeing a bunch there. But it is inside on the week. Oh, what did I just see? Coke. No, it's a different Coke. Cocoa. What's that one doing? CLX. I thought I saw something else. CVS, Donut. Dollar Tree. Why is Dollar Tree in here? Beyond the Meats, $2. Bud Light. Come on, Bud Light. Shoot around Bud Light. Daggone it. Anheuser-Busch. All right. So we got some actionable signals for next week. We're going to wrap this up. Ben Cruz said, give me one more. Thank you, Ben, for being here. I'm going to wrap this up. Let me get out of this tank, all right? Let me get out of the tank. We got some actionable signals for next week, all right? There's your list. I'll put it out on Twitter. Give me a second here. All right. Thank you so much for everybody being in here. Oh, I'm fuzzy. Hold on. I got a trick for that. Nope, didn't work. I'm a little fuzzy. Oh, wait a minute. I'm hitting the wrong button. All right. There you go. That's a little better. That's better. Thank you for being in here. Thank you for laughing with me. Thank you for watching the Strat, the weekend shift, and looking at the Strat with me. All right. These charts become hilarious when you learn the Strat. All right. Why? Because they're only looking at daily. Most people are only looking at daily charts. They're not looking for actionable signals. They're not looking for time frame continuity. I forgot about time frame continuity. We did have the week that started before the month. All right. So the new month started on Wednesday. All right, so next week we're going to have all the time frames actually start in October, right? That's the point I wanted to make with time frame continuity. That's why I got my notes. So go out there, create those winning positions, add to them, and defend them with tight stops. That's your new mantra when you're trading right now, all right? That's your new mantra. I talk about that in the Strat Camp webinar. I'm going to run that. We'll be doing that. I'll put something out there. I'll let you guys know when I'm going to do that webinar here in October. All right, I go through the entire Strat in one night. So again, before you're trading, before you start trading, while you're trading, and after you're trading, this is your mantra. I create winning positions, add to them, and I defend them with tight stops. All right? And it's going to stop that. We're going to change our mentality. We're going to stop that deer in the headlights look when it's going to the lows against us, or going to the highs against us, if you bought puts. And we're going to stop that whole well, I'm so scared to trade. I'm too scared to even do anything. We're going to stop that. All right? When we start our positions, it's a small position, okay? That way, if we get stopped out, it's a small loss. All right? So I create winning positions. There's 3 universal truths we use to do that. Actionable signals, time frame continuity, broadening formations, all right? Once we create that winning position, we're going to look for signals to let us know it's okay to add. Then we're going to add to our winners, all right? And we're going to cut our losers. And then after that, we're going to defend our winning positions with stops, all right? We're going to keep pushing our stops up toward the price. If you're shorting stuff, down toward the price. You know what I'm saying, okay? You're going to push your stops toward the price until you get stopped out with profit. That's it. That's what we do. That's what we do. And you don't need crazy options to do it. You don't need a whole bunch of money to do it either. You don't need a whole bankroll. I suggest nothing less than $500, of course. All right. But you could buy a course. You could buy an ebook. You could buy, a one-on-one with me. Learn how to create these. Learn how to start. All right. And then watch these charts. Paper trade. Watch these charts, watch this stuff play out as you're building up money in your account. And then when you're ready, you'll have confidence to go ahead and hit that ask button, that buy button, all right? I call them buy and sell buttons, but it's actually ask and bid, all right? You'll know what you're talking about, all right? You'll know where the buyers actually are, all right? I'm never trying to encourage anybody to just start YOLOing stuff and just getting stuff just, right off the top. You can do this. Go ahead and just buy it all. You got this. All right? I want you to ask yourself, what am I doing right now so I'm still trading in 2030? What am I doing right now so I can still be a good trader and a profitable trader in 2030? All right? That's how you need to think. All right, let me get out of here. Thank you so much for everybody being in here. Zay, Beach Bum, Brent, B and Cruz, Marla B, Vincent Vega is in the house. Nate the Great, Justin Davis, JD's in the house. Art, and I'm so glad to see you, Art, come back. Dub Jones, and then Terry Baker. Back up, Terry. Terry said, get back up in them calls. Terry Baker in the house. Thank you so much. You go through some more charts, find some more actionable signals. I watch Zay. Go watch watch 8X Trades. 8X Trades is a good one. Go watch, I don't know if Mr. F2 Rev is doing shows right now, but go watch other people that trade the Strat. Shout out to Stratimus Prime. Shout out to him. Shout out to John Smith. You guys talk. You saw me talk to him. All right. He does a show. Go watch him. All right. And create those, create that watch list, all right? And then get to a point where you can close your laptop, all right? I don't just trade the Strat, I live it, all right? So if you're inside bar on something, do what you need to do to get that thing reversed back to the highs, all right? It's a consolidation period, all right? Just do what you need to do to get that thing reversed and back to the highs. So don't get triangled out on your personal relationships, all right? You got this. Make that phone call, go visit, go to the movies. Go for a walk. You got this. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.